he's looking at Vader, but when he flinches a little, is when Vader notices his presence. And I was like, that's dope attention to detail right there. Because Obi-Wan was...
Yeah. Shout out to Madness. Yeah. Rogue Nation 845. Bro.
Alright. What's up, Council of Comics? Sam, Cliff. We're talking Obi-Wan episode 3.
There's a certain level of energy that you opened with that already alarms me.
Why?
Right, because I feel like you're mad about something.
No,
you know?
No, I actually, episode 3
I thought it was pretty cool.
It's my favorite episode.
Yeah.
So far.
Is it because of the dragging? Because for me, it was the dragging.
That was... Somebody said a good point. For everything that Disney has messed up, they've gotten Vader correct in everything they put out.
Yes.
No disappointment in anything Vader at all.
Yeah. There's that line of just...
Like, you are not messing up Vader.
Yeah. And even though, like... There's so much that goes on in the episode. Should we just go right into Vader?
No, what happens before that?
Okay.
It starts off with Obi-Wan in the ship.
Yes.
Meditating.
Yes.
And he realizes Anakin is alive.
Yes. And of course he's trying to reach out to Qui-Gon again.
Yeah. And a dope line when Leia said, "What's the Force feel like?" And he's like, "You ever been in the dark and turn on the light?
Yeah.
How does that feel like? I feel safe." He's
Yeah.
like, kind of feels like that. That was beautiful. I was like, that's Star Wars right there.
Yeah.
So then they go to that planet. They meet up with the no. They go to the desert. They're walking, trying to find, because the guy said, "Here, go to these coordinates."
Right. They get to those coordinates, but see nobody.
Yeah. And Obi-Wan's like the grumpy old man. Shut up, Leia.
You know, remember, Leia, I'm your father, Oh, no, wait, that was before. That was last episode, which is like grandfather.
And then he sees Anakin in the distance, like a vision of him.
Yes.
Really small out there.
Well, is that a vision of Anakin?
Yeah, he was having a vision of him way out there. And then this truck guy comes in, the alien. They're like, "We're trying to get to the port." "Oh, I'll take you to the port, no worries." As Obi-Wan gets to the back trunk, there's a spray painted or drawn
Empire symbol.
Empire symbol. And so they're in there. And then the guy picks up some stormtroopers.
And that's uncomfortable.
And Obi-Wan messes it up.
Yeah, he calls her Leia. That was I'm like, Obi-Wan, you're a mess.
I was like,
you're a mess.
I was like, you, but Leia saved the day.
Yeah.
Which I'm enjoying her.
She's great.
Yeah, she's really...
She's channeling Carrie Fisher like...
She's doing it right.
Yeah.
She's doing it right.
Which she's a kid, so it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing that she's got that, like, fire and sarcasm that is traditional to Leia.
Yeah.
I love it.
And then, basically they find out it's Obi-Wan and her. Obi-Wan has to fight all them.
He destroys the probe.
He destroys the probe.
But the probe still looked at him.
Cool shot of the stormtrooper falling and being separated by the laser. That was really cool. Then an Imperial ship lands. A commanding officer walks off, and basically she kills the stormtroopers.
And she's the one who's supposed to meet them.
Yeah, she's the spy or whatever. So they go with her. They go back to the city. She takes them to her secret place. Leia's got a little thing about droids, so she actually cares what the droid thinks about. But the lady's like, he doesn't do none of that.
Oh no, but she does say his actions speak louder than words. So the lady does have her own feeling about the droid, which I thought was very nice. Yeah. Yeah. Did you see how the droid was holding that hammer too?
Yeah.
Ready to strike somebody.
But
that was so great.
I don't know if I liked that part because it wasn't. It felt more human than droidish.
Well, that's the point. These droids are more sophisticated than people give them credit for.
Yeah, I know.
And that's what she was trying to say. His actions speak louder than words. And then later on, he's the one grabbing Obi-Wan's body. So I mean, like, dude, like the point is, this lady knew. Her and Leia were on the same page about droids. Droids are more than people think that they are.
So they open up a secret compartment, and they go in there. She's getting changed, and there's writings on the wall.
Yeah.
And Obi-Wan's reading it, and he finds out that Quinlan Voss is still alive. and she says that he's been helping smuggle out younglings
yeah.
and stuff.
Who are either Jedi or Force sensitive.
Right, which brings up a theory that he might have been the one that saved Grogu.
Back then,
at the temple.
During the temple, yeah.
Yeah, he might have been the one that did that. And so they're ready to leave, and Vader shows up.
Right, he wants to vomit. Vader isn't even there yet, and he wants to vomit because he can feel whatever it is he's feeling.
The fear and the anger that he felt.
Yeah.
Instantly.
And intensely that he wanted to vomit.
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
And Vader just walks in, beast, and a cool shot. I think New Rockstars pointed it out. When they shoot Obi-Wan, he's looking at Vader, but when he flinches a little, is when Vader notices his presence. And I was like, that's dope attention to detail right there. Because Obi-Wan was masking himself, but he let his emotions or something get better of him. And that little flicker when you see it, like,
yep.
Boom, Vader's like, oh, I've been
You are
waiting
here.
for you, Obi-Wan.
So in that moment where his like lightsaber lights up Obi-Wan, like, oh.
We'll get to that. So Vader knows that Obi-Wan's there, and he force chokes a guy.
Yeah.
Lifts him up, basically telling Obi-Wan, I'm going to kill these people unless you come out. The sun comes out. Vader snaps his neck. Keeps walking.
What are the odds of surviving a neck snap?
Not much.
Right? But like it can happen, but often not.
It can. Maybe in the Star Wars universe, it's more possible because they rebuild people's stuff. And Boba Fett, the guy that
maybe. All I know is the mom was there, like patting him.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is terrible. I was feeling for the people. I was like, oh no.
And then Vader force grabs a woman, drags her, causing Obi-Wan
to make a move,
to finally come out. But he's basically like, boo, here I am.
And Reva's just holding himself back.
Yeah. So then Vader goes after Obi-Wan. They begin to have a lightsaber duel. Obi-Wan's like off his game. He hasn't done this in a while. You can tell he's afraid.
It's been 10 years, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I was trying to explain that because a lot of people are like, "Oh, I'm so disappointed that like Obi-Wan like isn't amazing," and I was like, I know that sucks, but it makes a more interesting story that he has just like completely dedicated himself to like this simple life where he's just watching over Luke. And so, like, of course, he's just not in touch with the Force the way he was. Although, it also stands to my point that, you know, once you're in touch with the Force, you're never really out of touch with the Force. It's always there.
Very true. Very true. You watched it yet?
I did.
Yeah, you better get over here and get in this video.
Sure.
So, Vader's fighting with Obi-Wan, basically toying with him. You know what I mean? He finally gets him in an open space. He makes some, I guess they're fire rocks or whatever, fall over. The dope thing, he lifts up Obi-Wan, chokes him out, lights the whole floor on fire,
and then starts raking him through the flames.
Dragging him through the flames.
That was so, yeah.
And he's like, you will suffer.
No one was like, suffer as I have. And I'm like, oh my god.
The inflections in the voice.
Yeah.
The whole thing. I was like, this is phenomenal.
You know, and then, and of course, what's her name? When it was the spy, she comes and rescues him with the robot.
Tala?
Right, which leads to a point of contention.
Right,
because
did Vader let that happen?
Did he let that happen?
I think he did, right? And why not? This is the first time he's actually physically in contact with the man that he's been searching for 10 years.
Right.
So you would think it would be only vengeance. I'm standing on his feelings are all messed up, right? Like he's like, I do want this, but like.
Okay,
but you were like a brother to me.
I've seen episode 4. I'm not gonna tell you.
Okay.
But from what they show in episode 4, it seems like he did.
Okay. So then we could run with the fact that Vader exerted himself and just could not ramp back up to get him
that whole tank, and that was it.
Right, because how often does Vader come out swinging since he became Lord Vader? Right? He trains these little jerks, you know, and then sends them on their way. So maybe since he hasn't had a real like fight in a while, he like drained the Force tank a little bit.
Yeah. I think he had a moment.
I think he had a moment.
He had a moment. The way he was staring at him like...
Also,
I want you dead, but I don't want you dead.
Also,
you know
he's
what I
like-
mean?
It's like very conflicting.
Yeah.
By the way, regardless of what he says in episode 4, he's still like anger delusional, right? So that could mean that he still completely believes that he didn't want to let him go, even though there's some part of him that shut down and was like, "Oh, I don't have it in me to do this again." So I guess he's gonna get away.
Right. Right.
Well, I mean, I know that's reading too much into it, but
Keep going.
it's human.
It's human, and it's like that's what we get from watching it. You got to look at it at all perspectives that they're doing it. You can't be just one like path that they said in the before. I don't want to go too much without you seeing it, but
Well,
that's pretty much the end of the episode.
I got a big bone of contention. The guy who pitched the series, right? So apparently he said that he did not know that Obi-Wan was aware that Anakin was Vader, right? And of course people all over the internet started ripping him apart because of course there's scenes where from episode 3 that obviously he knows he's Vader, you know, everyone's calling him
Vader. The
He's
Emperor's
calling Vader.
Yeah.
But, and well no, also what's his name calls him Vader, Yoda calls him Vader, you know?
Yeah.
right.
But that was at the time they pitched the series. So it's not like he did not know that when they were making the series. He didn't know that when he pitched the series. Of course, that's still
like a point. That's an important point.
no, it is an important point, and it's a little bit bad, right? But I still feel like just because you're making a series pitch and you had this little mental faux pas, and they caught it, everyone in production caught it and was like, oh, you realize, like, did you guys watch episode 3 again? Like, because look, so that's cool. So my understanding is, of course he knows that he's Vader. He just hasn't heard of Vader since he disappeared for 10 years. And he just assumed the Emperor is just running everything. Because honestly, how many people know of Vader unless he comes to confront them, and then that's when everybody gets scared?
Yeah, but in episode 1...
Oh, everyone knows by then.
Not episode 1 of this series. They know who the Inquisitors are.
Right, but the Inquisitors are the ones...
You know what I mean? They're like, do you know who I am? You're Inquisitors.
Yeah. But he's the one doing the work. I mean, they're the ones doing the work.
They know who they represent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know
But,
what I mean?
well, they represent the Empire.
Yeah.
Right? They don't know
I think
they
Vader's a big figure
faction,
10 years.
Right, but I feel like the people who know Vader are only people who have encountered him.
Right.
Right? So people on far-off worlds, you
Right.
know, well, I don't know who you are, but we know you're Inquisitors because you're wearing black.
Right.
You got that circle thing on
Right,
your
because
back.
Owen thinks Anakin's dead.
Yes.
That fit perfect.
Yeah, the way
With
he
the
acted, how he
With the
carried.
cannon and everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, it ends... How does that episode end?
The first one?
Oh, Reva
Oh, Reva kidnaps
kidnaps
Leia.
Leia.
Okay, so cinematography. The director knows how to portray a villain. I thought all of Reva's scenes in episode 3 were like the most classic villain cinematography, like the crooked angle as she's marching, the wide scope as she's walking through that citadel, like she owns the place, you know, like all of that was great, right up until she actually got into the council room with the other Inquisitors, and then it was just like, boom, it's like that seat's mine, right?
Yeah,
And like, and now you're
I was
one of the
like, then why
Inquisitors.
ain't you sitting in it?
Yep.
Retort.
You know what I mean?
She still gave him a retort.
Yeah.
She said she was like, "It's not your decision," right?
Yeah.
She still was like, "No, we're not playing that." But I liked it because every moment until she got into that room, it was like this scene. I own it, you know, and
Yeah.
like
She's calling the shots.
right, she's calling the shots. And the thing is, she's so off the chain in a very present metaphor because no matter what they're doing, even with Vader, she still is like, I'm pursuing my own agenda. I don't care.
Right.
You know, she went after Leia. No one told her to go after Leia. She was just like, I'm going after her. You know, I'll keep using this kid as freaking bait as long as I want.
Yeah.
So I do like that. I feel what is missing is the reverse storytelling, that we know the villain first before we understand why the villain's a villain. Right? So I'm like, I
You need
know,
that backstory.
right, but
There's
it's
only
gonna
2
come
episodes left.
and it's gonna come at the end, right? It's gonna come at
Yeah.
the end arc. But that I'm okay with that
And
because
I want to see a little bit more Hayden Christensen. The way they gassed
Yeah.
him up, like he's come back.
well, they were just
If
so,
it was just for that little illusion
no,
shot,
it's gonna be more than
I know.
that.
In the,
you know what I
in
mean?
the tank.
I'll be upset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, come on, you gotta have some kind of flashback.
Oh no, when
or
he sees
something.
him in the robe.
Yeah, that's the only shot, and him in the back of the tank. But That could have been anybody.
That right.
No, but it was still him. They still went through the trouble of making him.
It was him.
And everything and the prosthetics.
You know, he still went through all of that just so we could go, it is him!
Because it's not him, as far as I know. They have 2 body doubles.
Yeah.
For the Vader thing.
Oh,
I think it was him when he was sitting in the throne.
Yeah. Shout out to Madness. Yeah. Rogue Nation 845. Bro.